everyone, welcome to day 4 of the Sunflower Seams Laurel Sew Along. Today we are going to be completing steps 39 through 52. If you are completing the sleeved top, take your top and turn it inside out. This sample is the sleeveless version, but I'm using it to show you the step that you're going to be completing. If you're completing the sleeved top, take the partial lining and the main back and line it up with the main front and the partial lining front. Align the side seams. Next, you will pin them together and sew along the side seam edge. You will finish off with either a zigzag stitch or a serger. Repeat for the opposite side. If you are completing the sleeveless top, you will turn your top inside out. Separate the partial lining from the main. Align the side seams at the arm side and pin. Now pin the side seams of the main front and back all the way down. Now pin the partial lining right sides together, starting at the main and lining seam all the way down. Now you will sew your side seams together. When you're finished, finish off with a zigzag stitch or a serger. You will now repeat the same steps for the opposite side seam. Once you have completed both side seams, turn your top right side out. You will complete your sleeveless dress bodice the same way we completed the sleeveless top, except you will not finish off your side seams with a zigzag stitch or serger. Those will be enclosed once we attach our skirt. If you are completing the sleeveless dress, you are now done for day 4. If you are completing the sleeved dress, turn your bodice inside out. Lay the back bodice main on top of the front bodice main for both sides. Now, starting on the left side, flip the lining away on the back and flip it away from the front. Now that you have the lining out of the way, with the right sides of the back main and front main together, line up the side seams. Place a pin. Now, with the right sides of the lining together, line up the side seams and place a pin. Now you will sew down the 2 side seams. You will not need to finish off with a serger or a zigzag stitch, as this will be enclosed when we attach our skirt. Now you will repeat those steps for the second side seam. It is now time to start working on our sleeves. Whether you are doing the short puff sleeve or the long puff sleeve, the steps are the same. For the purpose of this tutorial, I am using the long sleeve. You're going to lay your sleeve down with the right side of the fabric facing down. Fold the hem of your sleeve up 1/4 of an inch and press. You will fold the hem again 1/4 of an inch and press, creating a memory hem. If you have not transferred the gathering stitch markings from your sleeve pattern, do so now. If you already have, or once you have done so, you will sew 2 rows of gathering stitches from the first marking to the second. The first row of gathering stitches will be 1/4 of an inch from the top of your sleeve. The second row will be 1/4 of an inch from the first row. Once you have completed your sleeve gathering stitches, take your elastic casing and fold it in half and press. Now, with your memory hem still folded up, place your elastic casing folded side down and make it flush with the fold of your hem. Now pin. Now sew across the raw edge of the elastic casing. Once you have sewn your elastic casing, flip the casing up enclosing the raw seams. Sew along the folded edge of your elastic casing. Now, take your elastic, whether it is the arm elastic or the wrist elastic, and attach a safety pin. You will feed the safety pin through the casing that you have created. Once you have pulled it through a little bit, you will secure the elastic tail end with a pin so that your elastic tail does not get lost. Now continue feeding it through. Once you have fed your elastic all the way through, pull the elastic through, leaving a 1/4 of an inch tail. Now, sew a straight line multiple times to secure your elastic. You will want to secure your elastic on both ends. Once your elastic is secured, you will want to remove your safety pin and trim off any excess elastic casing left. Now, open up your memory hem. Fold your sleeve in half with the right sides of the sleeve touching. You're lining up the side seam of your sleeve, starting at the hem and going up to the armhole. Pin. Once you are done pinning, you will want to sew down the raw edge. After you are done sewing, you will want to finish off with a zigzag stitch or a serger. Once you have completed your side seam, fold your memory hem back up. You may need to place clips or pins. Now, top stitch along the folded edge of your hem. Once you have completed your hem, then you want to take either your sleeved top or your sleeved dress bodice and turn it inside out with the front facing up. Lay your sleeve with the right side of the fabric facing out on top of your bodice or your top. You will want to line up the side seam of the sleeve with the side seam of your top or your bodice, and then pull the gathering stitches until it is the same size as your armhole. Once you have done that, you will take your sleeve and insert it in your top or your bodice. Once again, you will line up the side seam of the bodice with the side seam of the sleeve. Place a pin. Now, find the top of the sleeve and line it up with the shoulder seam. You also want to place a pin. Now pin the sleeve to the arm side and adjust your gathers as needed. Once you have pinned your sleeve to your bodice, you will want to sew around the armhole. Once you sew around the armhole, you will want to finish off with a serger or a zigzag stitch. After you have completed those steps for the first sleeve, you will want to repeat them all for the second. You have now completed day 4 of the Laurel Sew Along. There is only one more day of sewing left. Can't wait to see you all tomorrow.